It is the first of two games between Jake Mayer and the Stamps and the BC Lions. With a win, the Stamps can vault over the Lions into second in the West. But that, of course, is something that Vernon Adams hopes does not happen. VA starting for the first time for BC since being acquired by the team on August the 31st. It's the Lions, it's the Stamps wrapping up Week 15 in the CFL. Back alongside David Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, Milt Stiegel. A thrilling first Hall of Fame game here between the Bombers and the Tiger Cats. The Tiger Cats coming up victorious in that one. But now we move over to the West in a very, very fascinating game. And we just saw him there, Ches. We have seen him with a little bit of action for the BC Lions, but finally starting for this team. And what are your expectations for VA?
Yeah, the best version of Vernon Adams, I think, is one that doesn't have a lot of pressure on him, and maybe not a ton of expectation, which I think is the case tonight. I think that, Jordan Maximic's been excellent. You think there's a high expectation on him?
Oh, yeah. But you're entitled to your opinion. That's fine.
Oh, I just, you raised your eyebrow, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, I think if you're traded for in mid-season, you're traded for one reason and one reason only, is to get an opportunity to reignite an offense that once was the most high-powered in the Canadian Football League, that is loaded with talent. And if VA can't get it done with this offense, then then you're looking at the end of his career. But this guy's got all kinds of pressure on him. I think the best way that he attacks this is go out there and plays fast and free, something that they got away from in Montreal when he was there. That's what was there. That's why Kahari Jones and that team were on fire. They were the comeback kids. VA was big play back then. Yeah. They need to let him do that, and he's got the right people around him to reignite this offense.
So when I say the expectations aren't that high for VA, he's got a great team around him, obviously with those weapons and a pretty good defense. But a guy that's only been there for a couple of weeks, I think if he just goes in there and is adequate at quarterback, takes care of the football, makes a couple of plays that VA is definitely capable of making, I think that's a win when I look back, and I think this Lions team looks back at what VA does. So I think we're on the same page, and look, he does have great weapons to work with.
No, go ahead. Yeah, I'm like, if I'm VA, I'm licking my lips. I can't wait. Yeah. I got reps this week. I got reps with this offense and this team. Walking in that huddle, you've got to be excited. I know I'd be excited at 61. I'd walk in that huddle like, I can win with this team, right? I can win with this team, Milt, and I think that's where his headspace has got to be.
Expectations are high for these BC Lions. They understand where they are. They understand that there's no more Nathan Rourke. That's why they went out and traded for VA. They brought him in there because they need a Grey Cup caliber quarterback, and they think he's that guy. They wouldn't have given up a first-round draft pick if they didn't feel he was that guy. So there's a lot of pressure on him. He's expected to go out there and win right now. They have all the tools in place. This team, yes, they may not be able to catch the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but they want a home playoff game because it's so much easier playing in Vancouver than it is having to go to Calgary or maybe even to Regina. So that's what they're hoping for. They're going to get out of VA right now.
And Milton, I'm looking at this football team that they're playing, the Calgary Stampeders. They've already transitioned from one Hall of Fame quarterback to Jake Mayer. They've already transitioned and making that transition right now. BC is doing it. Winnipeg's one play away from having to go through that. So I think the Calgary Stampeders are sitting pretty. If they get a win tonight, if they can find a way to get a win tonight, they continue to put pressure on everybody else in the West because this football team has got two. Yeah. They've got two. We know that. And to me, that's extremely important going down the stretch because typically it takes two, and you can't just get through the season with one.
Yeah. And now it opens up in the West as well, too. I mean, I get it that the Bombers got 2 losses on the season. I think they're set and locked in first place. But watching Saskatchewan last night, too, and they're 2 games under 500, you're right. I think that Calgary can make a monster statement tonight. But we'll see what VA can finally do as he starts for the BC Lions. Second place on the line officially in the West as we take a look at the same game parlay brought to you by FanDuel and see what the gentlemen like in this game. Davis Sanchez, you like Malik Henry with an anytime touchdown. Matty, you like Jake Mayer over the 255.5 passing yards. And Milt, you like Kadeem.
Minus
Cash.
200?
Minus 200.
What does that mean?
Wow, that means he's going to score a touchdown, essentially.
Don't quit your day
You
job,
play the
Stiegel.
game, Milt. You should know how this
Did
works.
you see what happened last week?
Okay.
Tommy Stevens was the fantasy vulture.
touchdowns.
He was a fantasy vulture. Took all those TDs away from that running
Chance,
back.
you're my advisor when it comes to that stuff. You need to step in.
I've been letting you down there, brother.
Let me down.
We're not really selling it, are we? Kickoff coming up next. Tegan Kraft of Abbotsford, BC. This is your chance to win big thanks to Save On Foods' $1 million touchdown to win. If a kickoff is returned for a touchdown, you could win groceries for a year. If 2 kickoffs are returned for touchdowns, you could win $1 million. Good luck, Tegan. Let's get you over to Dustin Nielsen and Glenn Suter.
A picture-perfect Saturday afternoon in Calgary. Blue skies and the light breeze setting the stage for a huge battle at McMahon Stadium. The BC Lions still looking to find their way without Nathan Rourke. 0-2 since losing their superstar quarterback. On the other side, Calgary coming in after a clean sweep of Edmonton. It's the first half of a home-and-home with huge playoff implications on the line.
Back in August when these two teams played each other, there were 81 points scored. But at that time, there were 2 different starting quarterbacks. For the Calgary Stampeders, it was Levi Mitchell. Not so anymore. This is Jake Mayer's team right now. He's looking to start his 4th game in a row, averaging 273 yards per game passing. Vernon Adams takes over for Nathan Rourke, of course, injured. He is on the bench, will have a headset on, obviously not dressed. It's Vernon Adams after the trade for the BC Lions.
Rick Campbell trying to snap his team out of their first 2-game slide of the season. 4-10-2 in his career against the Calgary Stampeders. And Calgary starting to get things going at the right time. They've won 3 of their last 4. Dave Dickinson 10-4 in his career versus BC. Back-to-back wins against Edmonton in Labor Day in the rematch for the Calgary Stampeders. They won the toss. They're going to take the football as we've got the 8-win BC Lions going up against the 8-win Calgary Stampeders. Very likely playoff preview, but where will that game be played? Next couple of weeks, we'll sort this out. That'll go to Peyton Logan at the 11. He takes it all the way up to the 30. There's a flag in the middle of the field as Logan takes it all the way back outside the 40 as we get a look at Jake Mayer at the helm of the Stampeders offense.
Yeah, start number
During the
7.
return, holding Calgary number 33. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's going to be first down for Calgary.
Start number 7 for Jake Mayer. He's 3-3, 3 games last year, all over 300 yards passing, very close to 300 a game here. Really has solidified the position. Took over for Bo Levi Mitchell a few weeks ago. Bo is dressed as the backup on the sideline, but it's Jake Mayer, 2-1 on the season.
In that 81-point game back in week 10, Bo did not have Malik Henry, did not have Kadeem Carey. They're both available to this Calgary offense today, and they'll hand it off to Kadeem Carey, and he's got a short pickup on first down. Let's take a look at this Calgary Stampeders offense presented to you by Expedia.
Well, they get Sean McEwen back, their leader on the offensive line. He was on the 6-game injured. This is his first game returning to the lineup. And in the receiving corps, no Kamar Jordan. Trey Odoms-Dukes takes over for him. And as you mentioned, Malik Henry, their leader, was not available the last time these two teams played. So the Lions secondary seeing him for the first time this year.
2nd and 6 for Mayer. 3 receivers to his right, looks to his left, throws to his left, and misses the intended target. Malik Henry heading towards the sideline there, and a quick 2-and-out for the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, 2-and-out and deep after the penalty on the kick return. So good chance for the BC Lions early on the road to get a little early momentum here. Vernon Adams can put a scoring drive together. Should get pretty good field position here.
Terry Williams in his 2nd game with the BC Lions, brought in to try to kickstart the return game for the visitors. Was leading the league in kick return yards when acquired earlier in the month. Towering kick. Williams takes it just inside his own 50. And Williams will stay on his feet inside the 45. An excellent field position here for Vernon Adams Jr.
Former Montreal
We got no yards. Calgary with 28. It's a 15-yard penalty. It's going to be first down for BC.
Gave up a first-round pick to bring him in and not save the season because they were in a pretty good spot, Glenn, but to continue this momentum that they certainly haven't had in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, maybe stabilize the position more than anything with his, with his experience. Start number 30 of Vernon Adams' career here in Calgary. 17-12 all time, but he's 0-2 this year. Just a couple of starts this year, and then the trade to try and stabilize the position with Nathan Rourke out.
Starting on the Calgary 45. Cannot ask for better field position here, and they'll hand it off to James Butler, the running back in this BC Lions starting offense.
Well, the last time these two teams played, they had their starting offensive line. In fact, after 11 games for the BC Lions, this is the first change on the O-line with Andrew Pearson playing for Suk Chung. And the last time these two teams played, Brian Burnham went off for 165 yards.
Had a touchdown in that game as well. Rhymes at 101 yards and a touchdown. BC has not had a 100-yard receiver since Rourke has been sidelined. 2nd and 7. Adams over the middle, batted down, defended well on the play by Kobe Williams, but there is a flag on the near sideline.
Illegal contact on the receiver. Calgary with 28. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's going to make it a first down for BC.
Brad Muhammad, the guilty party. Couple interceptions on the year for Muhammad.
Take a look at Vernon Adams trying to throw it right over the middle. Delayed pressure from Calgary. The legal contact was away from that throw on Brad Muhammad.
BC works now from the Calgary 32. Adams throws it away. Keon Hatcher in the area there, working against this Calgary starting defense.
Well, Sean Lemon is their leader up front, but Florin Aramalade is maybe the most underrated defensive player in the Canadian Football League and putting together a great 22 campaign. Cameron Judd's their leader in defensive plays in the linebacking core and in that secondary. Speaking of stabilizing the secondary, they've gone through some changes due to injury. Trumaine Washington has a couple of interceptions that has really helped him back in the back end.
Had 5 last year in Edmonton as well. Adams with time over the middle. He's got a completion. And a big play for the BC Lions. And they'll get it into the hands of Brian Burnham.
Targeted 9 times in that game against Calgary here at McMahon Stadium. Nice little shake and bake move. It's that second move that gets the separation for Brian Burnham. He gets off the line with a nice stem, but he gives Brad Muhammad another little shake down the field to get a little separation.
I like the first move, and then he threw in the second one, and it opened him up for 22 yards. First and goal from the Calgary 10 for Adams. They'll give it to Butler, cuts it back up the middle to the end zone, lunging in, and he's there. James Butler strikes early, first blood to the BC Lions.
When the Lions made the trade for Vernon Adams, they were heading into a bye week, which gave Adams a real good opportunity to get the playbook down, to understand the concepts, the different terminology that the Lions may use compared to the Montreal Alouettes. And boy, he looks settled in. That first drive finished off by James Butler.
5 play, 45-yard drive after a great field position to start for Vernon Adams Jr. Has the one completion to Burnham for 22, and then Butler finishes it. Extra point knocked home by Sean White. And James Butler His 4th rushing touchdown of the season, just his 2nd since week 1. And they could certainly get him going again here this afternoon. Welcome back to McMahon Stadium, everyone. Vernon Adams Jr.'s got to be pretty happy with this start.
Yeah, you know, we should remind everyone, I know it's been a tough season for him and the trade coming from Montreal where he's lost that starting job, but you go back to 19, I mean, this is a guy who threw for over 4,000 yards, including the playoff game that year, and put up some big numbers. Looked like that elite guy. I mean, great college background and resume. Played at the same school as Bo Levi Mitchell and Matt Nichols, Eastern Washington, for a while before his senior year at Oregon, but big numbers in college.
Peyton Logan on the return. Stays on his feet out to about the 35-yard line, and that is where Jake Mayer will get the ball for the 2nd time today. A quick 2-and-out on the first possession. Now he finds himself at home trailing by 7 to the BC Lions. Well, just a beautiful day here in Calgary, unless you're the Calgary Stampeders, already trailing here 7-0. Long way to go, and obviously a quarterback that can make some plays at the helm here.
Yeah, I mean, this is, and maybe establish the #1 running back in the CFL at this point in the season in Kadeem Carey, get their offense rolling that way. A little ground game to get going.
They'll give it to Kadeem Carey. And he's contained by this BC Lions starting defense.
Well, Josh Banks and Nathan Cherry in the middle are going to have to try to control that run game against Kadeem Carey. Cherry's having a great campaign, rookie year for him. Top draft pick. Lacombo's back in 2nd start at linebacker, coming off the injured list. And Luchez Purefoy moves out to halfback for TJ Lee. And Mojay is back at safety.
They've been moving Purefoy around that defense so far this year. Empty backfield for Mayer over the middle, and that is batted down. There's a flag on the play. I'm not sure if that would be on Rugamba, who got a hand in there and broke up the pass to Begelton.
Pass interference, BC number 33. Ball will be placed at
it is on Manny Rugamba.
First down for Calgary.
Yeah, well, that was well past 5 yards for the contact, and as Begelton tried to make his move and go back into the middle, Rugamba basically cut him off and impeded his ability to get there. That is pass interference.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the hand on the arm at the end there. It was the turn.
It's when he turned to go to the middle. You can make contact, but it's got to be within 5 yards, and you got to be square to the line of scrimmage. And Rugamba didn't do either of those things. Automatic first down and a point of foul penalty.
Rugamba's done a pretty decent job since sliding in there, playing alongside Alatic and Lacombo. Jordan Williams obviously in the mix in that linebacking core as well. Big burst here for Carey. Gets spun around, stays on his feet, popped at the end of the play, but it's good for 9 yards.
Quincy Mojay, the safety, getting back in the lineup and getting a chance to step up on the run game. Now, Kadeem Carey will take it, and you get to that 3rd level where it's a safety coming up to make a hit. You've got a good gain from that tailback spot, so he'll take it, but that was a big hit from the safety spot coming up in run support.
2nd and 1. Tommy Stevens time. 4 touchdowns last week on the ground in a similar situation to this, looking to push ahead, get some help from one of his teammates, and is down to the BC 50 for a first down.
You mentioned Kadeem Carey. He's missed 3 games and yet leads the league in rushing. That's because he leads the league in rushing yards per game. Almost 80 yards a game for Kadeem Carey. And you know, if Dave Dickinson can find another 2 or 3 carries for him, he's going to be up over 100 a game the way he's played.
6.8 yards per carry this season for Kadeem Carey, and they also like to mix in Peyton Logan every once in a while. He's out there now. Mayer down the field, big completion to the BC 30. Purefoy eventually finishes off Hakuna Vanu with his first catch of the game.
Yeah, another guy who did not play in that first meeting between these two teams in August. Akunavanu finds the hole in the zone. Preparing for contact that came from Luchez Purifoy.
Akunavanu, 2 touchdowns this year, 2 touchdowns last year as a rookie. Great athletic ability. Now they work from the BC 28, handoff to Logan, and there was nowhere to go. Boom Guachum there to close quickly.
Yeah, that was just eliminating the gap. That was in the backfield. Logan could not get started. But you mentioned that the Calgary Stampeders will alternate with Peyton Logan back there, and that obviously takes some touches away from Kadeem Carey as well. So I like the idea because Logan is a breakaway guy. He's got a tremendous top-end speed.
A loss of 2, 2nd and 12 for Mayer. Out to his right and throws it incomplete in the direction of Jalen Philpott, but Philpott never had a chance at that one. That'll bring up 3rd and 12 yards to go.
Yeah, I think Jake Mayer just threw that one away. Basically limit the gain. He wasn't sure, I don't think, how close the defensive line was behind him as he was rolling to his right, so he decided to save a loss and get his field goal team out there.
Usually in pretty good hands with this guy, Rene Paredes. 2 for 2 last week, 90% on the year. In fact, 2 of the best to ever do it in front of us here today with Paredes and Sean White, both of them at 90% on the season.
Tied for first.
Has been none better so far this year. 38-yard field goal attempt for Paredes to get Calgary on the board. And he knocks that one home, no doubt about it. Stampeders have to settle for 3, but they got the 3. Vernon Adams Jr. will have more on his first start with the BC Lions when we return. It's the 30th career start for Vernon Adams Jr., his first with the BC Lions. And for more on that, let's send it down to Claire Hannah.
Well, Dustin, Vernon Adams was all smiles after that first touchdown drive. But yesterday, when I asked him how he would describe this season, he used the word roller coaster. He said it was less than 3 weeks ago that he requested that trade out of Montreal after playing 6 seasons with the Alouettes. And he said he loves his teammates. He loves the city, but he could see that he wasn't a part of their future plans. More importantly, he could see the huge opportunity with the BC Lions. Now, since getting to Vancouver, he said that he, of course, wants to build some of that chemistry with his teammates on the field, but what he's trying to do is get to know them off the field, get to know their families, what college they went to, even bonding over hairdressers with some of the receivers. He said it's something he learned from Jake Wieneke. If he can build trust with these guys off of the field, they're more likely to put trust on him on the field.
Well, it certainly will go a long way, no doubt about that. Now Adams down the field, that's batted away, defended well, and knocked away by Ailey Buka. And Vernon Adams Jr. sees an opportunity here right now. We know who the quarterback of the Lions is moving forward next season. So he's kind of putting himself out there for the rest of the league to watch, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's some that, believe this may be sort of the last opportunity for Vernon Adams to really prove that he can be an elite guy. I mean, Nathan Rourke is, they're still remaining a little optimistic that he will be able to return maybe just before playoff time, but for now they need someone to stabilize it, and Vernon Adams is the guy.
Nice. 2nd and 10, and what a catch, helping out his quarterback there. Well, Keon Hatcher lays out, goes and gets it.
Nice catch. Sorry, sometimes I just turn into the fanboy up here.
Say, quiet, Glenn, I'm talking.
What a catch. I mean, it looked like Adams he delayed here a little bit. There's Hatcher on the numbers there. Look at him lay out to go get that one.
Keon Hatcher over 700 yards receiving, flies under the radar, but that guy's elite. 1st and 10 now from the Calgary 54. They'll go back to Butler, and Butler's got a pretty decent push ahead here on first down. They'll give him at least 5 on the play.
Yeah, but I've loved what Vernon Adams did in Montreal and what he's done going into camps in the offseason. He'd bring the receivers to his place in Washington on the West Coast, and he would work with the receivers on his own dime and try and get that chemistry going, and he's doing the same things in BC. He's going to have Nathan Rourke and Michael O'Connor and Tonio Pipkin to bounce things off of as well. Great to build that chemistry off the field too.
Empty backfield this time. Calgary bringing pressure. Adams escapes. Now he's off on the run. Flag on the play. Avoids some damage coming in there from Jonathan Moxie. A 9-yard pickup. But as I mentioned, a flag partway through this scramble for VA.
Went up and over there, didn't he?
Illegal contact on the receiver. Calgary number 45. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's going to be first down for BC.
Tremaine Washington, not too sure what he did.
Let's take a look at the play again and watch Vernon Adams here right at the sideline. Moxie comes up and he goes over.
Man, that's got to be tough getting jumped over by an opponent, eh?
Just a great athletic move by Adams.
12 rush TDs in that big 2019 year. We know he can certainly do that. Athleticism never in question, as he's got another completion to Brian Burnham for 7 more yards.
Well, he can do it, but he's got to do it, right? He can do it. We know he can do it. We've seen him run. We've seen him use those legs like this. But that kind of athletic ability can serve him well. I mean, I think that's got to be a big part of his game. If he doesn't like what he sees in coverage, he got his body twisted around enough to land on his shoulders. Shoulders are padded.
Folded up like a suitcase there at the tail end of it. This time he'll hand it off. That'll be close to a first down. Not much of a push ahead from James Butler that time.
I think one of the reasons that a lot of people are saying this is kind of like Vernon Adams' chance. Pipkin will come in for short yardage here, but Vernon Adams' chance is that he doesn't really have any excuses. I mean, this is a good offensive line in BC. This is an offense that was putting up close to 500 yards net with Nathan Rourke at the controls. Great receiving core and tailback. All the weapons are there.
Pipkin in on short yardage. It's going to be very close. He eventually gets thrown back the other way. It looked like that initial push was probably enough. Pipkin and Adams with a relationship already for some time together in Montreal, operating in a similar fashion here.
Pipkin is pretty confident, and there's just needed 1 yard. Pretty good hit by Cameron Judge there to make it as close as it was, but got enough.
Pipkin remains in. They'll get it into the hands of Lucky Whitehead for the first time today, and that goes nowhere. A loss of 1 on the play.
Another big year for Sean Lemon, the veteran of 11 seasons in the Canadian Football League. I mentioned he's leading the team in sacks. He's in double figures, second in the Canadian Football League. But he also does this. I mean, he gets his nose dirty. He's not just a straight pass rusher and wanting the big numbers and the sacks and all that comes with that. He'll get his nose dirty and stop the run as well.
Second and 11. 9th play of the drive. Got to hurry here. And he didn't get it off in time as the whistle blows as that ball is snapped.
Time count violation. BC number 8. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
Yeah, he realized that he's trying to hustle it out, make sure they're set. He got a glimpse of that corner 20-second clock and only had a couple of ticks left.
Uh-oh, gotta go.
But if the O-line is moving, it's against the legal procedure, so he had to wait for them to settle.
2nd and 16 now. Empty backfield. 4 receivers, wide side right. Looks over to the left to Lucky Whitehead. Hoping that Lucky could create something out of nothing. And a short pickup. A little bit of an easier field goal attempt for Sean White.
Yeah, I had to double check Sean White's attempts. He's 18 of 20. Both those misses in the Saskatchewan game against Saskatchewan in Regina, but I had to look, I said 20. Most of the field goal kickers are, you know, into their 30s, but then Nathan Rourke was at 80% in the red zone.
Not a lot of field goals.
So Rourke kicking
He is 39 of 40 on the extra point. So
yes,
he kicked a bunch of those. Sean White from 38. And he's able to knock that one home. And that puts the BC Lions on top. On the road, 10-3. They lead the Calgary Stampeders. NFL on TSN continues tomorrow with a full slate of early afternoon matches, including an NFC South divisional showdown between the Bucs and the Saints. Coverage begins at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific, keeps on rolling all day leading up to Sunday Night Football on TSN and CTV. Don't miss football's biggest plays with NFL Red Zone available on tsn.ca and the TSN app. Time ticking down here in the opening quarter. Calgary trailing by 7. Jake Mayer near side and has a completion to his running back for just a single yard into the hands of Kadeem Carey.
Yeah, just wondering if the Calgary offense, I mean, their last series was better, but just after scoring 56 against Edmonton, you know, I think human nature kicks in there. You walk on the field saying, well, this is going to be this. We score every time we get the ball. And facing a different defense and different challenge, they got to get back in that groove again.
Final play of the opening quarter for Jake Mayer. Just 2 of 4 for 23 yards. 2nd and 9 is what he faces here. And that one falls incomplete. It was behind and away from Kadeem Carey. And that's their second 2 and out of the football game. And they find themselves trailing here at home against the BC Lions team looking to snap a 2-game slide. They have to like their start. 10-3 BC on top on the road after 15 minutes. Welcome back to McMahon in Calgary, where second place in the West is certainly up for grabs here. BC Lions leading 10-3. Calgary Stampeders, just the 3 points there. How would you describe their offense in that first quarter?
Yeah, they're just a little off. I mean, and I don't mean that it's ugly or that, you know, you got to give credit to the BC Lion defense as well, but it just looks like they're a step behind, and maybe it's just the first quarter thing coming off that 56 points they put on Edmonton last week. But I'm sure this offense, if they can get Kadeem Carey on first down more involved, will start to get in that rhythm that they want to find. We do know, and we've seen before, that there's not going to be a quick change at quarterback. Not that Jake Mayer played all that bad in the first quarter, just the former quarterback in Dave Dickinson will give Jake Mayer a chance to work out of any issues.
Should note BC Lions defense allows just 21.7 points per game. That's the second best in the league, behind the Bombers, who got torched earlier today. 49-yard kick. Williams on the return. Spun around and eventually taken down. Brian Burnham, boy, last time against the Calgary Stampeders, he had a huge day, 165 yards and a touchdown.
Well, the Lions had to come back in that one. The Stamps had, I believe it was a 17-point lead at one point, and Brian Burnham went to work. He was targeted 9 times, caught 8 of them for 165 yards, and really was the reason that the Lions were able to come back with a 1-point win. 81 points scored combined in that game.
Second highest scoring game on the schedule so far this season. The other one was Calgary, Edmonton last week, which was a blowout. So Calgary has played in the 2 highest scoring games so far this year.
Last week in the Canadian Football League, averaged 60 points per game last week.
On this play, they'll get it back into the hands of Butler, trying to establish him a little bit here. 4 yards on that play.
Yeah, he could really be Vernon Adams, safety blanket, really. I mean, especially as Adams is sort of learning the offense and moving step by step through his progressions, things like that. The check down for the young quarterback, I say young, he's a veteran, but young in this system is your tailback.
Butler also didn't play in that 81-point game. No Kadeem Carey, no James Butler. Adams quickly, Lucky Whitehead's got it. That'll be enough for a BC first down.
Little show blitz from Calgary here, and they're going to show like they're going to be in man and blitz, but what they end up doing, see, they come up to the line of scrimmage and they're trying to show, and then they drop out of their zone. But Vernon Adams, again, through his progressions quickly, good recognition to Whitehead.
He's got another completion, this time to Burnham, and Vernon Adams getting that ball out of his hands rather quickly here. 6 more yards to Burnham.
That's how you know that they're comfortable. Like if they're seeing the defense, they're understanding where the holes are if it's a zone, where they want to go if it's man-to-man coverage. And when the ball is released that quickly, then you know that they have a strong understanding of not only their offense, but the defense they're facing.
2nd and 4, empty backfield, 3 to the left, 3 to the right for Vernon Adams Jr. He's going to look down the field to Lucky Whitehead, and it falls incomplete. Just missed him. Buka was coming over to help out, and Vernon Adams knows that he had a little too much on that one.
Yeah, you look back and, again, a little bit more air. This ended up being a man-to-man. Buka went down low, and he was in chase. Williams from across the top, but just a little too far. A little more air under that, might have got there.
Flintoff gets it away, and it settles at the 30. Picked up there by Logan after just a 33-yard kick with just over 12 minutes remaining here in the first half. Might have to remember this one as Vernon Adams just misses Lucky Whitehead. Calgary quarterback Jake Mayer about to get the ball back here again, and here's a little glimpse of what he's done so far.
Yeah, I mentioned the 300-yard games. First 3 starts for Jake Mayer, and no other quarterback in CFL history did that in his first 3 starts, and close to 300 yards this year.
He's going to look down the field for a big chunk to Henry, and he holds it in at the 25, all the way down to the 10, and home touchdown. 77-yard strike to Malik Henry, his 8th touchdown of the season, and just like that, Calgary's back in business.
That helps you get to 300 yards in the game in a hurry. When you can hit the deep ball down the middle on the post, can't throw it any better as Malik Henry, Calgary's leading pass catcher, just glides underneath this football. And that's the air I'm talking about on a deep ball. You drop it in the bucket like that, and Henry just caught that baby in stride and glided into the end zone. 77-yarder.
Extra point not through. We are deadlocked at 10 here in the second quarter at McMahon. Jake Mayer now at 100 yards on just 3 completions.
Quick post seam really down at the bottom of your screen. See what happened with the Lions cover. Jalen Edwards-Cooper was playing on that corner, and he just hesitated. Maybe thought he had help in the middle that just wasn't there. Great recognition from Jake Mayer and Malik Henry. They both, quarterback and receiver, have to see it. And he launches that baby. And watch how Henry just glides underneath it, over the shoulder. Thank you very much. 77-yarder. Changes in the secondary. Purefoy was playing safety. Mentioned off the top, he had to move to take over for TJ Lee. Delvin Brose out of the lineup. Jalen Edwards-Cooper playing for him. There's some experience back there, but they haven't played together.
inside his own 40.
8th in the league in yards. Touchdowns, climbing up the ladder. Just one behind Dominique Rhymes sits on the field here tonight for the BC Lions. And of course, Dalton Schoen, who played before us. Big win for Hamilton. Nice win for Dane Evans. The Hamilton Tiger Cats, congratulations to them, beating the Winnipeg Blue Bombers before our game. But Malik Henry. Receivers love those ones. Post pattern, no one in the middle. Drops it over the shoulder.
Almost like a freebie.
It's a freebie.
He's closing in on 900 yards receiving this season. A little hesitation there, second crack to get it in to David Mackey, and he's able to hang on for a short pickup on first down.
Yeah, everything starts to buzz after a play like that. I mean, the crowd starts buzzing. The defense comes out playing hard, and here comes a nice tackle by Cam Judge here to limit that gain and put Vernon Adams in second down. Let's call it second and medium.
55 tackles for Judge on the year, leads the team. 4 fumble recoveries as well. He's been an active member of that Calgary defense. Looking to stop the BC Lions here. Second and 5 on their own 43.
Time count violation. BC number 8. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
Vernon Adams Jr. caught on that time count violation for a second time here in the first half.
Yeah, that's again, getting used to the play calling, getting used to an understanding of that wristband full of plays he's got to read, but now he turns a second and medium and second and long. Completely different play package there.
Katoy in the slot to his right. He's going to give it to his running back, Butler. Nowhere to go. Wrapped up immediately and taken down. Whistle had blown before that ball popped out. And that'll bring up third down in a punting situation here for the visitors. Flintoff out here to boot it away. 48.8 yards per punt so far this season. Peyton Logan looming, waiting, back just inside his own 25. Away clean. Low kick, bounces at the 29, taken by Logan. And he's going to bring it on the near side of the field. Another flag here on the return. And Logan runs all the way across the field, and then there's another flag. That one looked pretty clear, and we'll have to sort that out when we return as Calgary looks to get the ball back. The last time they had it, Malik Henry wide open to the house, 77 yards to tie this game at 10. Don't miss the epic prequel to the groundbreaking Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon, an HBO original series, is now streaming, and you can only watch it on Crave. I'm an episode behind, so no spoilers on Twitter, please.
I'll take a look at these penalties. Here's the illegal block. I would call this one real questionable. And then on the sideline over here, there's the face mask, which I'm not sure he got the face mask. Looked like Logan ducked his head for sure, but okay, first down Calgary.
There, hands it off. And that is brought all the way up the field by Philpott as they like to work in number 85 there. And that one goes for a big chunk on first down.
Yeah, how good was the blocking up front? Derek Dennis and Zach Williams right up here. And here is Philpott on this side. He's just going to take this little draw action. The big guys out the front. Kadeem Carey got a nice block down the field as well. Watch Carey step up and block for his teammate. Nice looking execution there.
18 yards for Philpott. Calgary now up to their own 47. 9 minutes to play, second quarter. And another completion on the near side of the field as William Longueuil gets involved in the offense.
Is it just me, or is every time that one of the Philpott brothers touches the football, he gets a smile on his face that's ear to ear? This big, huge grin every time he gets a chance to make a play. I think we're going to see big, big things, the Philpott brothers.
5th overall pick in this past year's draft. It seems like every time they touch it, something big could potentially happen. Those types of players. Pressure coming on Mayer. There's a flag as the ball falls incomplete.
There is a flag in the backfield.
That's interesting. Let's get the call here.
Illegal block, hands to the face. Calgary in 67. Penalties declined. It's going to be 3rd down.
Zach Williams, legal hands to the face. And once again, Cody Grace will come out to kick this away for Calgary. Terry Williams awaits the return. Marcus Sales back there as well. Bounces over the shoulder into the hands of Marcus Sales. Short return. Local boy Javon Coutoy. We're going to have a little bit more on him when we return as he's putting together a nice season in this BC offense. It's been a very nice season for this man, Javon Coutoy. For more on that, let's send it down to our own Claire Hanna.
Yeah, and Javon Coutoy actually hails from Calgary, so we expected a lot of people to be here in the stand supporting him. He welcomes that pressure. He knows they're all looking at him. But he's got an interesting story where his football career almost ended in Calgary. After a successful career with the Calgary Colts, he committed to the Dinos. However, just before going to the UFC, tore his ACL, needed knee surgery. After a year, he needed knee surgery again, and he almost considered hanging up the cleats. During that time, he actually got his emergency medical responder degree from SAIT, but then he got a call from his former Calgary Colts coach who was coaching in Langley. He went to play there. The rest is history, but what a great 360 story for Coutoy, who almost thought about leaving the game of football. Guys?
Well, it's worked out well. He's his 3rd year in here with the BC Lions, and it still seems like at times he's just scratching the surface.
Yeah, like the Philpott brothers, same thing.
Pipkin, short yardage, no problem. That's a 1st down for the BC Lions.
And Coutoy, I love the fact that his last team, the Langley Rams, after going through that journey, and boy, there's a lot of players on both sides of the border that have gone through similar journeys. World-class athletes who play in any league, but because of circumstance and timing and things like that, maybe didn't get opportunities, and they get a chance to do their thing here in the Canadian Football League. And Coutoy, coming from the Rams like Andrew Harris, coming from junior football, be a star player, 1,000-yard receiver.
We'll get it to Butler in the flat. He's got some room. He's got a little bit of blocking help, and he almost has enough for another BC 1st down.
And I like what he can do in his versatility, Coutoy, as well, where he's going to be up there blocking. We saw him blocking on the short yardage run by Pipkin, and Coutoy, nice block there to spring James Butler, because he's a big physical guy, 25 years old. He's 230 pounds playing receiver.
6'5", 230, 2nd in inches. Lines up here with the short yardage group. Pipkin again lunging ahead. Like he got up to about the 45, which would be more than what they needed, and another 1st down for the BC Lions. This is with Coutoy and Keon Hatcher, Dominique Rhymes, Brian Burnham, Lucky Whitehead. There's a lot of targets for Rourke and now Vernon Adams Jr. Yet Coutoy's over 400 yards receiving on the season.
Remember, Burnham missed a few games, but returned just prior to that game against Calgary.
And a flag on the play was Lucky Whitehead interfered with, working against Deontay Ruffin on the far side of the field.
Another interception for Ryan Phillips.
That one doesn't count.
Okay.
Calgary number 17. It's a spots foul. It's going to be first down for BC.
I think he had about 47 of them in his career, the Lions defensive coordinator. Yeah, there was some contact going on between Ruffin and Whitehead out there. This will be a good look at it here. I think the argument for Calgary and Dave Dickinson there is that wasn't catchable. 48 for Ryan Phillips. Put it in the books. Of course, that was his own team, so that's a catch and a...
Adams out to his right. He's got Burnham, and Burnham's got a big chunk down inside the 25, up and over Washington, down just shy of the 20.
Top of the route here is why Brian Burnham, the veteran, gets this reception. It's so good. Watch him come back, extra step there to beat Brad Muhammad back to the football. If he sits down there, Muhammad will cut underneath him and get the knockdown. So he'll take that extra step back, turns the corner, gets some yak yards.
27 more for Burnham. He's got 64 on 4 catches. First and 10 from the Calgary 21. Burnham in the slot to the right. They're going to look to him. Ball came in hot, and Burnham not ready. Got a hand on it, but couldn't haul it in.
A little discussion there between Vernon Adams and Brian Burnham. But it looked like that Vernon Adams had to throw it around Jameer Thurman on that pass rush off the edge. That's tough. That changes your angle. You're throwing it outside and around a blitzing linebacker. The accuracy is going to be a little bit off.
Just over 4 minutes to play, second quarter. We're tied at 10 at McMahon. Great game so far. Adams, a ton of time here. Now he's going to have to take off up the middle. Stays on his feet. And eventually they will track him down. The ball squirts loose. Still bouncing around, and they fight for it. Calgary, is that Judge on it? Did Phil Norman possibly save the day? No, it will be Calgary ball.
Cam Judge came out with the ball, but there looked like the bottom of that pile, Philip Norman had a chance at it. Partly you're a Lions fan, you're saying the second and third effort by Vernon Adams you admire, but at some point you got to cut your losses and make sure secure the football. So Cam Judge definitely pulls it out. That's a fumble. That's the first thing you got to look at. That's where I thought Philip Norman had a chance at it, but he couldn't reach it. They're saying it's Calgary ball. Cam Judge came out of that pile with it.
That's his 5th fumble recovery this season, and the second one that he has forced.
And that leads the CFL. That's more than any player in the CFL in fumble recoveries. That just, you know what that means? It means you're around the ball.
Yeah, nose for the ball.
You have a nose for it. You're around the ball all the time. If you're around the ball, good things are going to happen.
Lots of time to work here for Jake Mayer. First and 10 on his own 37. They'll hand it off to Kadeem Carey. Tiba Baye in on the tackle.
Gets the forced fumble too. And I know that Philip Norman thought he could save the day because they're still in field. The Lions would have still been in field goal position because he had a crack at it right there, but the big man goes.
Second and 7. Early movement. Blown dead immediately.
In fairness to Philip Norman.
Procedure,
the football.
Calgary number 63. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still second down, and we're now at the 3-minute warning.
Football looks a little bit like a tennis ball to him. So,
just a little bit smaller. Calgary has the ball, tied at 10 with the BC Lions as we hit the 3-minute warning.
We are still here in Hamilton, Ontario, ready to break down the first half of this football game. We've got good VA, bad VA, some good Jake Mayer, and also it's family night here. We're going to break down the first half of the movie Lightyear. Yeah!
Don't go anywhere. They're locked and loaded, ready to go at halftime. Storyline could still be developing here with some time on the clock. Jake Mayer. Looks like Calgary will have their wind at their back if they do need to attempt a field goal. Mayer gets it away as he's hit. He's got a completion to Beggleton. First of the day for Reggie, and he takes it outside the 50. And that puts them into a pretty good position with 2:43 on the clock.
Emmanuel Racumba's coming on a blitz here, so Jake Mayer knows that he has got to get the ball out of his hands quickly, and Beggleton's his hot route. He knows he's going to take a hit, can't block them all, and he gets it out of there.
Mayer's 5 of 9 for 122 yards and a touchdown. That one's 77 yards to Henry, in case you're just joining us. They'll give it to Kadeem Carey. Boy, he tried, didn't he? There's just nowhere to go.
Quincy Mosier, though, he had enough of the dancing around. He walked in there, and they've locked horns a couple of times, Kadeem Carey and Mosier. That time at the end of that, he kind of body slammed him. He just bouncing around, and then Mosier went, okay, enough.
Get down there. 2nd and 8. Mayer hit as he throws, and that was Matthew Betts who got there and disrupted things, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
Boy, he's having his best season. Matt's
been terrific.
Yeah, Matthew Betts is up at the top of your screen here, having his best season. 7 sacks on the year, but it's more than that. I mean, it's the pressures on the quarterback. It's plays like that where you're forcing an incompletion, forcing an inaccurate throw. He's been in the backfield.
Grace set to kick it away from just inside his own 45. This is a high punt. Drops down inside the 10, and that return goes nowhere after a 51-yard kick. And Yemi Berglund there to shut things down quickly. As we mentioned, don't go anywhere at the half. Kate and the guys will be breaking this one down. You heard her mention earlier there some good VA, some bad VA. How would you summarize
Legal block on the return, BC number 94. We'll go back half the distance. It's going to be 1st down.
How would you summarize first half of Vernon Adams?
Well, I think he's looked at times comfortable. He's looked at times where he's been uncomfortable. Now, this is an underrated Calgary defense.
Yep.
And I want to make that point right out of the gate, even before the panel get a hold of this and start always angling on the offensive side. Because sometimes the defense is allowed to win. This is an underrated group in Calgary.
4th in the league and points allowed. Adams dumps it off to his running back, and Butler does a pretty good job after the catch and picks up a 1st down for the Lions. It gives them some breathing room here.
Well, I was going to say Arimolade is a guy that Arimolade has got 4 sacks on the season, but I think is the most underrated defensive player in the entire league. We just don't talk to him about him enough. But when you have like Mike Rose and Sean Lemon in your lineup, that's where the attention goes.
Back to Burnham for a completion. Another quick release there from Adams, and a good chunk on 1st down. Very manageable 2nd down situation here. About 3 or 4 yards.
Brent Monson has got a good group. The only sort of shaky part about it for the last month or so has been the injuries in the secondary. The last Trey Robertson back there, and have had to shuffle the back end a little bit. But front 7's excellent.
Adams down the field. That one's up for grabs, going up and getting it. Dominique Grimes, but they'll wave it off. Flag on the play, though. So a few things to sort out here. Rick Campbell's not going to like it, as they're backing the BC Lions up.
pass interference. BC, number 18. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's still second down.
Okay, it couldn't have been 18. It was 19. That was Dominique Grimes. And let's take a look, because I thought he was hand fighting. Yeah, that's a bad call. That's the third bad one tonight. Couple on the team. That's not offensive pass interference. Not in any book.
Adams scrambling around, want to get rid of it, but now they're going to wrap him up and take him down on second and long.
This is what I mean about the good and the bad. I mean, you go back and you see Vernon Adams hit that deep ball to Dominic Grimes, which should be a completion. Wasn't bad call. Never mind, moving on. But I want to show you that where Vernon Adams, all of a sudden, the very next play, he looks completely different. Watch what he could have done here. Go ahead and run it, guys. What he could have done is, right now, he wants to go deeper. He's got a little time. Stop it here. Look, he's got a check down right here. James Butler, wide open. Tons of room to run. Give him the check down and move on.
Sack on the play for Sean Lemon, his 11th of the season. Flintoft, pretty solid kick here. It's going to back Logan up inside the 45. And he is wrapped up and taken down after a 54-yard kick. The combo downfield on the tackle to contain him.
Yes, in the CFL, folks, you can be a starter on defense, a starter on offense. In fact, you could be a star on offense or defense, and Lucambo is, but you still got to cover kicks. You still got to play on the special teams.
Jake Mayer gets this ball in his own 51. Wind at his back. And Paredes watching on from the sidelines.
Needs about 15 yards.
Kadeem Carey steps up to the left of his quarterback, Mayer. With time, gets it to his running back, Kadeem Carey, and Carey takes it up close to a first down just inside the 50s. Do that one more time and you're laughing.
See, see Vernon Adams jumping up, still holding on to the hope of throwing that deep ball and not seeing the check down. Watch the same thing on the assist play to Jake Mayer. That's the same way. So he wants to go deep, doesn't like it, check down, boom, right there. Now he's got nice gain on first down, some more time on the clock to work with, and about 5 yards away from a realistic field goal attempt for Calgary.
Sione Tehema is down, and he is having an excellent season so far for the BC Lions. He has 7 sacks already coming in out of the indoor league last year. 26-year-old is made a huge impact on this defense. I mean, you've got Tehema with 7 sacks. You got Menard with 5 sacks. Matthew Betts had 7 sacks coming in. Guacham's got 5. Overall, as a team, second in the league with 35 sacks coming into this game.
Yeah, second to Saskatchewan. Coming into this week of CFL action. And again, like I say, both these defenses got some athletes, some players. I mean, it's a good front 7 for BC as well, with Bola Combo working in the linebacking core.
Clock ticks down inside 30 for Mayer. Back to its running back again, Kadeem Carey, and another first down for the Calgary Stampeders. That's the 3rd catch of the game for Carey.
And so smart by Mayer, because he knows BC defensively in this scenario do not want to give one over the top. So they're going to back up and give him room. That's 2 check downs in a row.
Well executed drive by Mayer thus far. Near side, Begelton taken down just inside the 30.
So this is what the BC Lions then, after those 2 check down plays, Ben Hladek is going to take Kadeem Carey out of the backfield. The linebacker's going to cover him. So they'll play man. They'll say they're checking it to the back twice in a row. We're giving him a field goal position. They go to cover that down, and Jake Mayer goes to Begelton.
And Paredes has come out to attempt to give the Calgary Stampeders the lead in this football game. For for the first time today.
Well-managed final 40 seconds.
Executed just basically
ideal. Yeah, ideal.
36-yarder is the end result for Paredes, and he punches it through. So mission accomplished here by Calgary at the end of the first half, and they do have a lead. Second place in the West is looming, and at the halfway point of this ball game, Calgary is on top by 3. BC Lions and Vernon Adams will be looking to get things going. Right now, let's send it back to Kate and the panel for halftime.
And welcome back to Hamilton, Ontario, alongside Davis Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, Milt Stegall. We had the Hall of Fame game earlier. The Tiger Cats on top of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in that game. A bit of a shocker. Ticats were great. We'll get to that in the second block of this show. But let's talk about this game at hand. So we saw the Calgary Stampeders now take the 13-10 lead. But we begin with VA because, Milt, it was the biggest story going in that Vernon Adams finally starting for the BC Lions after he was acquired by the team. We saw some flashes of greatness.
Yes.
But then we saw him do a little too much. And Milt, I feel like we've had this conversation about VA before.
We actually saw the flashes of greatness and him trying to do too much on one play. And I've been saying this basically since 2019. VA, he has a skill set that's unmatched. But sometimes that skill set will get him in trouble. Like on this play. He avoids this sack, okay? What should he do? Get rid of the ball, but he's still trying to make a play downfield, and that's going to hurt you sometimes. I understand you're fast, you're mobile, but sometimes there come times where you just have to get rid of the ball, and you hurt your team. As a coach, I'm not going to tell him, don't do that anymore. I'm just going to tell him to be smart, because that skill set could also make you some big plays down the field.
In regards to doing too much, I really think VA has to tuck it and go. Like, I just feel like, yes, he can make plays, he can buy time, that's what he could do, but he's so athletic and so quick, and he can extend drives with his legs. I think that's really, where he needs to get to. Like I said, like we talked about earlier, for this team to be successful, adding that dimension to an already really good offense, I think is key. On the defensive side for Calgary, Cam Judge, I don't think we talk about enough. Again, first half, the man is flying around. I mean, he caused a fumble, recovered a fumble. He's in on, I think he's got 5 tackles already. He's leading the league in recovered fumbles, but Judge is an excellent player, along with Jameer Thurman. Is there a better linebacking core in the league, fellas? It's, I think it's, if not the best, it's definitely up there.
I'd like to get into that debate, because I love me some linebackers, but really, when you look at this type of football game, you heard Suits talk about it in that first half. He says, we're going to talk about offense. Well, I think in a game like this, you're jabbing, and you're taking a few shots, and all of a sudden, boom, somebody connects with a haymaker. And we saw one of those haymakers in the first half. And Suits, I am going to talk about Jake Mayer and the deep ball, because finally we got somebody throwing a ball in rhythm and hitting his receiver in stride. Great play fake, love the design.
Put it out there.
And Malik Henry, and of course the DB's looking like, where's my middle help? Where's my safety? It's like, come on, man. You got to be close to that. Milt, that reminded me of you when you played. Because Malik started shutting it down 20 yards from the end zone, and 2-9 did not want to be in the frame. He just shut her down.
That reminded you of Milt, and that 2-9 reminds you of me. Perfect.
You were never that close to me, Chad.
But here's the deal. In a game like this, you talk about VA trying to do too much. Defenses have commanded this first half. They're keeping the offenses in check, except for that play right there. And so as a quarterback, you can't do too much. I think this gives Jake Mayer an advantage right away, because you look at his head coach, Dave Dickinson. Dave Dickinson was the king of check down Charlie. He's a high completion percentage guy. He's going to take that, invite everybody in, then he's going to go over the top. I see the same thing in Jake Mayer.
I think with Vernon, he needs to build back up his confidence. You think about the last time he actually had success was 2019 when he had the big year. He hadn't had any success then, so I think his confidence is still down, and I think that's why he's trying to get that big play that's going to help out his confidence.
But isn't it confidence knowing that this team has this much talent, they brought you in?
That's true, but you haven't been able to capitalize off of this talent yet. And I know it's still early, just his first start, but he hasn't been able to capitalize off of it yet. Yeah.
I have no idea how much time we have, but Ricky Ray just went in the Hall of Fame, right? He threw for over 60,000 yards in his career, over 300 passes, and Ricky Ray rushed the ball for 3,141 yards over the course of his career. VA, we know, has got a bigger arm and more athletic ability. And to your point, pull it down and make something happen, because that'll open up those big play receivers he does have.
All right, Stamps currently with a 3-point lead in this one, but coming up after the break, we're going to break down the game that was on this field earlier, the Tiger Cats and the Bombers. Highlights analysis coming up next.
8-win BC Lions going up against the 8-win Calgary Stampeders. They'll give it to Butler, cuts it back up the middle to the end zone, lunging in, and he's there. James Butler. What a catch, helping out his quarterback there. Keon Hatcher lays out, goes and gets it. 77-yard strike to Malik Henry, his 8th touchdown of the season.
As promised, Blue Bombers taking on the Tiger Cats. Early in the second quarter we go. Malik Carney forces the fumble on Zach Colaros. Gonna scoop it up before taking it all the way back to the house. First career forced fumble for Carney extends the Tiger Cats lead to 9 points. Hamilton looking to hand the defending champs their first road loss of this season. Still in the second. Ticats with the ball, up by 13. Dane Evans gonna find a wide open Keandre Smith. That's his first career CFL touchdown catch. One of Evans' 3 teeny passes in the first half alone. To the third we go. Tiger Cats back in the red zone. Evans, this time he's going to find Tim White for his 4th touchdown of the game. That ties a single-game career high for Evans, playing his first start back from a shoulder injury. He was feeling it. To the 4th we go. He isn't done there. Under 3 minutes to go. Spots David Ungerer in the end zone. Beautiful. 327 yards for Dane Evans as the Tiger Cats knock off the defending champs. 48-31 your final of this one. Evans, what a game he had. 25 of 32, 327 yards as mentioned, and a career high 5 touchdowns. Here he was after the game with our Matthew Shinetti.
Today is just a great day. I owe a lot to my teammates. I mean, I can't do that without them, right? I'm just one guy. So I'm extremely proud of those guys, extremely grateful for those guys. And I definitely couldn't have done it without Dr. Carla Edwards either. So super thankful for her, thankful for everybody here, everybody that came out. I know our record's not what it should be, but we had a great support system here, and it was a hell of a win, man.
Dr. Carla Edwards also told you there's a difference between had to and get to and earn. What did you learn about yourself today?
That I earned to be in this moment, and I live in this moment. And next week when we go to Montreal, I've earned that moment too. So I know we just ended, but let's keep the ball rolling, and we're going to be ready then too.
Well, what a day for Dane Evans, Jake Mayer, and Vernon Adams, hoping for the same result in Calgary. We'll get you there after the break. Claire Hanna standing by with Malik Henry. Stampeders, Matt Dunnigan, what stands out?
Well, it looked like the Lions, in spite of that one turnover by VA, dominated the line of the time of possession. And to me, that's huge. Just got to take care of the football. And right now, those big plays are looming large for the Calgary Stampeders.
As promised, Claire Hanna with Malik Henry.
You guys are up 13-10 at the half. How would you rate your team's offense so far?
I think we've been playing pretty well. It's plays that have been left out there that we need to capitalize on. So overall, we've been playing pretty well.
Tell me about your 77-yard touchdown.
Oh, it was a great ball by Jake, better route by me, and we converted.
Now, the last time you guys played the Lions, you lost by 1. I know you weren't in the lineup, but how hungry is this team to flip the script?
We're definitely hungry. We got a lot of fans out here, and we're ready for this game to be over with.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
A football game being played in Calgary, family night here in Hamilton. It's the motion picture Lightyear. We're going to go watch a little bit before the second half between the Stamps and the BC Lions. Looks comfy.
Second half action coming up here in Calgary, where the Stampeders lead Vernon Adams Jr. 13-10. He is with our Claire Hanna.
Vernon, what can you tell me so far about your first start as a BC Lion?
A little ups and downs here and there. Want to do a better job getting these playmakers the ball, take care of the ball, especially in the red zone down there. Can't fumble like that. Easy 3 points should be tied right now.
That first drive of the game, you go down there and you score a touchdown. How did that allow you to settle in?
Guys just making plays for me. Vernon with the great catch. JB finished with the run. That was those guys making those plays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pretty accurate self-assessment there, do you think, Glenn?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's exactly what it was. He's got to protect the football in the red zone, especially when you got a field goal at the very least, and get the ball to the playmaker's hands, because he has playmakers in the lineup.
BC Lions will get the ball first here, trailing by 3. They are 8-3. They are 4-1 on the road, but they have lost both games without Nathan Rourke. Looking to change that here today against a Calgary team that is just 3-2 at home, and we are underway in the second half. Thank you very much for joining us for the final game on the Week 15 CFL schedule. Solid return to start things as we take a look at the first half for Vernon Adams Jr.
Yeah, it looked like he settled in. That very first drive, I thought, okay, he's got command of the offense, looked pretty good. Had a nice throw over the middle to Brian Burnham and set up a James Butler touchdown. We also saw his athleticism, little glimpses of that when he did take off and run, but I agree with Matt on the panel talking about, go ahead and use that as a weapon in your arsenal. Do it more often, but then there were moments when, again, maybe wanting too much, holding on to the ball a little too long.
Starts the third quarter on his own 41. Rhymes wide open, and he finds him. He'll take it over midfield. First catch of the game for Dominique Rhymes.
And there's an example of it. I think he wanted to go quickly to James Butler out of the backfield on this play. Butler on the play action. It wasn't Butler, it was Burnham that went out into the flat. And then just pump fake that, really quick curl to Dominique Rhymes. Get the ball in the playmaker's hands and let them go to work.
17 yards. Rhymes. Now they'll get it to another playmaker. This is Lucky Whitehead, and he slides. And he probably comes up just a little bit short of a first down. 8 yards for Lucky Whitehead.
Remilade got there in a hurry, redirecting from that defensive line spot. Again, that touchdown drive for Vernon Adams was the first drive of the game. This is the first drive of the second half. Sitting at 2nd and 2 now, but in plus territory.
They work from the Calgary 44. Right up the middle with the running back, James Butler, and that'll be a first down for the BC Lions. That was a really good push.
Big boys up front. They got fullback set as tight end. That was David Mackey at the left side of that formation. He got a good push, and there's Remilade one more time getting involved.
3 receivers, now 4 out to the right for Adams. He's in trouble, stays alive, and now he's going to take off on the run. And he'll take it all the way down inside the 30. Stays on his feet, steps out of bounds as he tried to cut it back in. Steps out at the 25, but there he is using his legs as a weapon.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's what Matt Dunnigan was talking about at halftime too, is the running ability of Adams, and to, this is even as it breaks down, but he could design run. I love the block here though from Dominique Rhymes out in the open field.
25 yards on 2 scampers for Adams. Bobbles the snap, taken down immediately. Demi Berglund there to finish him off. That'll be his 4th sack of the season.
Yeah, Peter Godber just put that one on the ground. That wasn't on Adams. Looked like he was trying to get to a reach block, trying to snap and step at almost the same time. And look at that, low and away, and it was yikes.
As a defender, you see something like that, your eyes probably huge. Your pupils are just massive.
Absolutely.
Dust settles, and it leaves it as 2nd and 16. Adams, pressure coming again, gets it away to Rhymes. Rhymes wrapped up and taken down. Got back and beyond the original line of scrimmage. But that will set things up for Sean White to come out and attempt another field goal.
A little frustration there on that low snap. I'm sure he'll go and get with his O-line, make sure that they're all locked in, but a field goal chance to tie it up.
One snap, a drive killer there. You know, you're putting together
that's
decent drive. Same with the fumble earlier, right? He talked about that with Claire at halftime. Got to avoid those types of things. A 30-yarder pretty much straight away for Sean White. And no problem there. He knocks it through, and we are once again tied at 13. Sean White's excellent season continues for the Lions. Jake Mayer went into halftime with a lead, and here's a look at what he was able to accomplish in that first half.
Yeah, it was kind of a sleepy first quarter for the Calgary offense. You know, when you look at the 8 of 13 for Jake Mayer in the first half, 7 of those passes were for 75 yards, and 1 was for 77 yards. The one you're looking at right there to Malik Henry.
Still the only catch that Henry has in this game. Obviously, it was a big one. Now they'll get it over onto the near side. Akuna Vanu showing his ability, eventually tracked down on the near sideline.
See, I love this kind of offense, and I think Vernon Adams can work this kind of thing too on the other side when they get the ball, where now there's options here. You've got the fake to carry. You can give there if you want. You can throw it out to Akuna Vanu out in the flat if you got room there, or Mayer could have just set up and looked deep down the field in behind Akuna Vanu. Lots of options, and it moves the launch point for the quarterback. Takes him outside of the tackle rather than always being deep in the pocket.
Keeps the defense on their toes. Third quarter has been good for Calgary so far this season.
Number 12. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
Don't see that very often. Home quarterback getting hit with a time count violation. And that'll back them up to a 1st and 15 from their own 45.
They've got those speakers in their helmets and communication coming from the sideline to give them the play call. Sometimes it's a number off the sheet they have on their arm.
There, near side, and that one falls incomplete. Looking back in the direction of Akuna Vanu again, but he is unable to haul this one in.
Yeah, I think Luther Akuna Vanu there just took a peek. Now, I'm not sure if that ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Boom, watch him coming off the edge. You get a piece of it? No, it looked like he did. It was close, but very catchable football. It just dropped. I think Akuna Vanu kind of got into that early thought of trying to spin out of it.
Leaves them in a 2nd and 15. Pressure coming. Mayer dumps it off. Wrapped up immediately and taken down. Nowhere to go. What a play by Jordan Williams.
Yeah, that's we talked about in the first half, a nose for the ball.
Yeah.
You know, guys that Cameron Judge having a big game tonight. He's having an awesome season as well, Cameron Judge, but so is Jordan Williams. Another great year. This is a nose for the football. He sees the guards pull out there, so he reads the guards knowing that that's where the ball is going to end up. It's going to be the screen, and he tracked it down now.
Cody Grace lets it fly. High kick taken just outside the 15 by Williams. And he'll get back to the 25 and not much further. Tied at 13. A little bit of a defensive battle here, and leading the way that time, it was Jordan Williams, last year's most outstanding rookie. MLS Sports on TSN keeps rolling tonight with a West Coast clash between the Caps and Seattle. Action gets underway at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on TSN. Came away with some points on their last possession. Backed up to start here on their own 25. 15 of 19 for Vernon Adams Jr. Pressure coming, gets it away in a hurry. That is caught, picked up. Grimes gets back up. No whistle on the play. Look at him rumbling ahead almost all the way out to the 50.
Digging, grinding. That's when they're talking about grinding, that's what it is. Grind out a couple extra yards. I'm not sure. I don't think he was touched when he went down on this quick throw from Vernon Adams. It's out of his hands quickly. Did he get touched there? No, absolutely not.
Not even close.
Not even close. So up he goes, and like Moxley tried to play for an interception. He thought it was a wide throw.
They give it to Butler. He was in a lot of trouble, but he's able to find a burst and get back to the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go that time for James Butler.
Guess who disrupted again? Arimolade. And we mentioned David Menard Matthew Betts in the first half, and you know, not just the stat of sacks that matters. It's how you're disrupting the offenses.
2nd and 10, empty backfield for Adams. Near side, Lucky Whitehead. Whitehead nowhere to go. Played extremely well after he caught the ball, and he was wrapped up by Kobe Williams.
I will say the tackles for BC, Kent Perkins and Joel Figueroa, have been playing fairly well tonight. This is a good matchup here where Perkins is going to go battle with Arimolade. Got his hands up and around the neck area, and I think that there was a no flag there because the ball left Vernon Adams' hands.
Flintoff just gets it away. Logan watching, takes it just inside the 10. Logan takes it back out close to the 25. We will hear from that man coming up, Nathan Rourke on the BC sidelines. Well, there's no denying it. The BC Lions offense is much different without Nathan Rourke. You look at their yards per game, essentially cut in half. He is with our Claire Hanna.
And Nathan, I know I don't just speak for BC Lions fans, but CFL fans, when it is your anticipated return to the field that everybody's looking forward to, what can you tell us about your progress right now?
I'm optimistic. I think that we're ahead of schedule, and we're going to be doing everything we can to be compliant with the doctor's orders and making sure that we're returning to the field as soon as possible. So I'm optimistic, and for now, I'll just be providing some moral support for the team right now.
How hard is it to follow doctor's orders when you just want to keep pushing forward?
Well, I know that following doctor's orders is the best way to get on the field quicker, right? So I'm just trying to be as compliant as possible and really put that in the hands of the people who know better.
We see you getting a different perspective here. You've got the headset on for this game. How are you just trying to take advantage of this opportunity?
Yeah, I'm just trying to maintain the fact that I'm still a captain on this team and trying to still have that leadership role and help out VA whenever I can. I think he's a great player, and I think been watching him, I've been able to learn something too, and just kind of get a different perspective of things, and has been good, and hopefully that pays off once it's my time to return.
And what are the biggest components of your rehab right now?
Yeah, just trying to get the strength back, trying to get the range of motion back. The swelling's the biggest thing right now. We're trying to get the swelling down. It puffed up real good after surgery, so we're looking at getting that done, and hopefully we'll go from there.
Well, best of luck. Thank you, Nathan.
Yeah, thanks, Caitlin.
He was having a phenomenal season. Now a deep shot down the field, and that one falls incomplete.
Well, was he ever? Yeah, I mean, Kid Canada was lighting it up. I mean, absolutely lighting it up. And he was distributing the football equally to all of his playmakers. You saw the net yards cut in half. The average of almost 500 yards a game net when Nathan Rourke was at the controls, and it was quite the story. and it's just put on hold for now. It's not done. It's on hold, and as you heard, he's optimistic he can return this year.
On the return here is Williams, and he is stopped just short of his own 25-yard line. Thanks to Nathan Rourke for giving us some time here in the third quarter. And to be honest with you, I'd like to see him get in like that. I think he could do some damage. We'll be back. Check it out. The GOAT. Greatest of all time. Adams hands it off to Butler. And Butler, pretty good push ahead this time. Eventually tracked down by Judge along the sidelines, but not before he picks up 8 yards.
Flag on the wide side of the field, and Calgary is discussing with the officials. It's Moxie over there that was.
There is no flag on the previous play. It's second down.
I'm not sure if Moxie talked him out of it or they just decided to pick it up.
Yeah, I didn't do anything. No, you're right.
Okay.
Let's pick it up.
I agree.
That usually happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. Apparently it was a running play, and that would have been illegal contact, so they picked it up. It wasn't that there was no penalty.
Timeout! BC!
Here in the third quarter, BC Lions needing to use a timeout, 2nd and 2. Obviously wanting to keep this offense on the field. This game is still completely up for grabs. No team has really taken control of it at any moment.
No, and I think it's fair to say, or we should say, that Vernon Adams didn't have a training camp with BC. He didn't have it. He's had 3 weeks with the Lions and with this personnel and with the terminology. So there is going to be times when he gets a time count because he's trying to decipher the call that's coming in.
I always feel like he's been around for a long, long time, but he's only making his 30th career start. Yeah. It's not even 2 seasons. Now here's a nice carry right up the middle, still going with some help from his friends all the way outside the 45, and 14 more yards for James Butler.
And here's what happens too for a guy like Vernon Adams who moves teams in midseason and quickly becomes a starter. And just watch this play. Nice run by James Butler, but sometimes the terminology will be similar in some ways and then different in others. So, if Roger was something in Montreal, it might be the same word, but something different for BC, and that causes confusion.
Burnham and Rhymes over to the left. That's where he goes. It's Burnham, and it's another first down for Vernon Adams, and the 6th catch of the game for Brian Burnham.
Yeah, if you want to grow your confidence and get into a rhythm, get it to 16. He'll get you started.
He's 18 of 22 so far in this ball game, and he's closing in on 200 yards passing. Keeps it himself this time. He has some room. Slides ahead.
Like it.
And a flag right at the end of the play. Was there a little contact at the end?
Well, there was, but
minimal.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's just say that.
Yes. Thurman hates it, and so do I. But I like the play though. Chance, there's a choice there to give it to Butler.
Necessary roughness.
A little push by Thurman.
Calgary, number 56. It's a 15-yard penalty. It's an automatic first down for BC.
Sold well.
I would say Vernon, yeah.
Sold well.
He sort of put his hand on his back. And sometimes I'll explain that by saying, hey, if you even do that, you're putting it in the hands of the official. Not that time. Not that time. Thurman just put his hand on his back. And it was... The Oscar goes to number 8, Vernon Adams.
Sucked him in. Working from the Calgary 30 now. Goes to Rhymes for another first down. Takes us inside the 20. And dare I say, he's starting to settle in a little bit here.
Well, he is. And I talked about his college resume early on. And, there was one quarterback coach / head coach / OC who basically worked with a bunch of... Bo Baldwin was his coach at Eastern Washington. He ended up at Oregon in his senior year, but Bo Baldwin worked with Michael Riley, Bo Levi Mitchell, and Matt Nichols, and Vernon Adams. And, you know, his college career, both said at one point he was the best of the four.
Which is saying something. Now he's going to look to the end zone for Burnham. Broken up. He almost had it on the deflection. There's a flag in the end zone, though, as he was working against Deontay Ruffin. And Ruffin got a hand on it. I thought Burnham almost had it when he turned around.
Pass interference. Calgary number 17. The foul occurred in goal. It's going to be free.
So let's take a look.
Burnham.
I don't know if, you know, if Dave Dickinson wants to waste a challenge here. I say waste because
Antonio Pipkin into the game to try to finish this drive after a questionable flag, trying to push his way in, and Calgary is going to keep him just short.
you know, I got to look at it one more time, but I just think it's minimal. Again, it's Deontay Ruffin leans into him, but he turns to play the ball. I mean, they're hand fighting there. Burnham's doing the same. They're both hand fighting. They both turn to try and knock the ball down. Burnham has a second chance at it. You got to let guys play in that case.
Pipkin will try it again. Pushing ahead again. This time does he get in? And they'll say no again. Setting up some drama at the edge of this Calgary end zone.
Now keep in mind that with the NFL starting now, it doesn't go down to the 1-inch line. The ball will always have to come back. Even if Pipkin got halfway there, the ball comes back to the 1-yard line every time. So you're now looking at third down. Can they do it 3 in a row?
Antonio Pipkin, 5 rushing touchdowns so far this season. Steps up. Is the third time the charm for Pipkin, pushing through, and he is in. Touchdown BC as they eventually finish it off and go back on top 19-13.
Yeah, and took the left side this time. He went right twice in a row and was denied twice in a row. And Jameer Thurman, who got that penalty that was very questionable, was on that side. So Thurman is here, and he's twice in a row. Pipkin tried to go right at him and was turned away. That time he said, no, enough of 56. I'm going off the left side, and he gets home.
Drive finished here by the BC Lions late in the third quarter. Sean White comes out to tack on another one and make it a 7-point ball game. And that one was close, but he's able to tuck it inside that upright. And Antonio Pipkin does his job for the BC Lions. Ended up being his 4th rushing touchdown of the season.
Well, there's not been really bias here, Dustin, when it comes to some of these questionable calls. Questionable from my point of view anyway, that, you know, the offensive pass interference on Dominique Grimes, I didn't think that was a penalty. They're hand fighting, they turn around to try and play the football there. That sets up this. That was a real questionable call on Deontay Ruffin. So it's sort of balancing out.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't make it okay. And here's the thing. You know, the refs are having a bad night. I mean,
they have them. The players have them. We have them.
Well, I haven't heard you have one yet, but we have one.
I was going to say that, but I'm glad you did. I'm kidding. Everybody has them. And right now, we got a 2013 game. BC Lions on the road. This will be booted away. Waiting for it here is Logan. Had to reach out to grab it, but he does. And he's got some room back up to the 30 here. Ooh, and there's one little hole, but they managed to trip him up right at the end of it. Another flag on the far side of the field. And this one, will it be coming back a little bit for Jake Mayer?
During the return, holding Calgary number 44. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's going to be first down.
Silas Stewart committing the hold, which backs up Jake Mayer a little bit. He's 11 of 18 for 160 and 1 TD. Kind of the same way we described Vernon Adams, I think. Kind of, good moments and bad moments,
They did manage that last 40 seconds of the first half very well.
Came away with a field goal in the lead at the end of the second quarter. Now they'll go to Kadeem Carey. And Carey's got some room. He's going to rumble outside the 30, up and over a defender. But eventually a stiff one before he's out of bounds. A big boy run from Kadeem Carey for 26 yards.
Yeah, I like it. That's exactly what it was. A big boy run. Wow. How about some athleticism from 3-5? Out around the corner, nice cutback. Now he bounce outside. Speed here on the acceleration. Hurdles one tackler and then stiff arms the next. Get out of here.
Going through all of them. Not very often you see a run like that sort of bring the momentum in Calgary's favor, but there it was. And now the final play of the quarter for Jake Mayer. Out to Begelton. Begelton taken up, and he lunges ahead for a couple of extra yards. That was Gary Peters, who was just jumped over by Kadeem Carey, and he was having none of it on that play with Reggie Begelton. And that'll do it as we work our way through the third quarter of this football game, and it is the BC Lions on the road with a lead with 15 minutes remaining. They are 7-0 when leading after 3 quarters. Welcome back to Calgary on a Saturday night. The Stampeders trailing 20-13, and BC controlling the ball in that third quarter.
Yeah, long drive, 9 plays, 86 yards adds to the total, and you take a look at the third quarter, 153-34. So the Lions take the lead. They're getting a little bit of traction offensively, but both these offenses are really having to earn it tonight. And again, officials having an off night.
I think we're in for a pretty good finish. I get excited for these types of moments. So let's go. This fourth quarter should be pretty good. Jake Mayer trying to get going here a little bit. Up and down night for the Calgary quarterback, but he has delivered a couple of times. They're coming off back-to-back wins against Edmonton, and they have won 3 of their last 4. They find themselves trailing, but this year when they trail after 3 quarters, Calgary is in fact 3-1. So they had experience this season coming back rather regularly in the fourth quarter of football games. Mayer with some time down the field, and that one will fall incomplete. Looking again to Akinovanu.
You know, in that first start for Jake Mayer, he had sort of an off first quarter and a half, and you know, we were speculating, do they go back to Bo here at halftime in that game? It was a few games ago now, but he came out and he put together a couple of really good drives in the second half, and that really ended the discussion, and he's taken over from there.
Terry Williams takes it just inside the 10, 53-yard kick, picks his way back up for a short return.
Shout out to my mama, daddy, sister, 2 brothers, my granny.
They always say I look bigger on TV. Like, oh, you're Shaun White. I thought you were bigger. I thought your legs would be bigger, too.
Don't miss next week's CFL Wired episode, bringing you exclusive access to the latest CFL highlights. Catch it Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on TSN. Look, I became friends with Shaun White over the last 5 or 6 years. I'll tell you, nobody goes up to him and says, I thought you'd be bigger. Nobody. Far side, that one is knocked down. Played well by Buka, working there against Keon Hatcher.
It is something that happens, though, you know, like Buka is basically 6'1", 204, so you know he's a little bit bigger. But you know, I used to get it all the time. He's right here, nice defensive play, and I get it all. I used to get it all the time, and I think DBs, receivers do all the time. You know, you play football. Oh, I thought you'd be bigger, and I thought, well, I'm 195 pounds. Well, back then, now it's different, but you know. I was one of the biggest guys.
Adams down the field, and nobody there Burnham was down the sideline, and they'll probably have a little discussion here, maybe a little miscommunication.
Well, I'm wondering if they're wanting a challenge. Vernon Adams, like Brian Burnham, they're talking. Let's take a look. Burnham's #1 receiver out here near the rail here, and does he get contacted by Ruffin? Yeah, I would let that go too, because it looked like he initiated it.
Flintoff looking for a big boot here.
Well, it might be a challenge.
And they are going to challenge just in the nick of time. So we'll give another look at this.
It's a big play if you win it, because you're backed up deep in inside your own 20 if you're the BC Lions. And
BC is challenging the ruling on the field. They believe that their number 16 was illegally interfered against. The play will be reviewed.
Just the 4th challenge of the year from the BC Lions. We'll see if they win this one when we return.
Command Center's taking another look at this. Like they both kind of geared down.
Upon further review, the ruling on the field stands. BC loses their timeout. It's 3rd down.
They do not have any more timeouts. Tough one to use it on.
Well, yeah, but I feel for the coaches in this game in particular, because some of the other calls that have been made, I can see why Rick Campbell thought, I might be able to win this the way it's been going.
Flintoff boots it again. Logan takes it after a 52-yard kick. And it's stopped right in his tracks. Purifoy leading the way downfield for the Lions.
Every team should have a Luchez Purifoy. Every team needs a Purifoy.
You can play him anywhere.
You play him anywhere you want. I bet you could play him at slot back, maybe tailback. Like Kadeem, I'm not sure if he'll be Kadeem Carey at tailback, but you could play him back there and he'd figure it out. Again, some real athletic runs from Kadeem Carey.
What I like the most about Carey is that he can attack you either way.
Yeah.
Like, he's not afraid of the contact. He's going to put his shoulder down, go right at you. But he's also very elusive when you can get him the ball out of the backfield. Second catch of the game for Malik Henry, who's been outside of a 77-yard touchdown, essentially non-existent in this offense.
Yeah, Kadeem Carey, 9 games. He played. This is his 10th game. This is their 13th as a team, but his 10th, and leading the league with that sort of dual threat approach.
3rd year with the Calgary Stampeders, and clearly they've got a good one here. He'll trot over to the right of his quarterback, 4 receivers, wide side left for Jake Mayer. Has Carey out to his right, little jump pass over the middle. And that's right at the 1st down marker as he gets it to Reggie Beggleton, who's really cranked it up here in the second half of the season.
Yeah, that's right at the marker, isn't it? I mean, taking a look, the officials are the ones that would. Well, now the official picked the ball up.
Do end up ruling it a 1st down. Nice job by the 6-foot-tall Jake Mayer to kind of get up and over top of the lineman and find Reggie Beggleton. Fresh set here from the BC 47. Calgary down 7. Back to Kadeem Carey right up the middle. Keeps those legs moving, almost escaped, but has enough for another Calgary 1st down.
Yeah, that's another example of it, because this is a third element to Kadeem Carey's game. He's got that shake and bake movement. He can make you miss. He's got that power where he likes to just lower, and then sometimes he'll just accelerate through the hole. He'll see that just heading north-south is the best approach on this particular run. Gets good yards. A little audible here.
57 yards now for Kadeem Carey on just 7 attempts. Mayer thought about loading up, now dumps it off to his running back Logan. Logan spinning his way to a first down, a little bit more, almost made it all the way down to the BC 20, but Calgary here in the second half finally putting together a drive.
Yeah, Ben Hladek figured out the difference. Like, Kadeem Carey brings what we just talked about to the table, and then you get Peyton Logan out there, and it's a little different beast. It's a little bit tougher to try and pick up this tackle. 14-yard gain for number 20.
Opens the door for Kadeem Carey to come back in. He was pointing
in the door.
Mayer over the middle. Begelton inside the 10. Begelton on his feet, taken down at the 5-yard line. And Reggie Begelton has his team leading 6th catch of the game. This one goes for 18.
Ben Hladek is the tailback presence is affecting now the defense for BC because the middle linebacker leaves the middle, and that's where Begelton ends up going because he's covering Kadeem Carey.
First trip inside the red zone today for the Stampeders, and Kadeem Carey has nowhere to go on this one. Manny Rugamba there to stop him before he does any damage.
Yeah, run blitz. It's basically a blitz, but the blitz is designed to stop the run and cancel all the gaps. And the outside C gap was Rugamba's, and it was canceled.
Peyton Logan checks back into the ball game. Scat back lining up there next to Jake Mayer. 3 options out to his right. Some pressure coming. Throws it to the end zone, and that one falls incomplete. Never really a chance there for Malik Henry.
Coverage by
Gary Peters in coverage.
Yeah, some pressure coming from the edge. I think it's Betts again. Forces Jake Mayer to kind of throw it as he's bailing. And just a bit outside.
They will settle for a 13-yard chip shot from Paredes.
See how careful Gary Peters was there? He's like, I don't want to breathe on him.
I'll be honest, I looked around for a flag just in case.
He's like, I don't know. I'm not even going to touch him.
The one that got away there from Jake Mayer. They trail by 4. CFL on TSN continues next week with a full slate of games. Coverage begins with an Eastern Division Friday night football matchup between the Tiger Cats and Alouettes. It continues with a doubleheader on Saturday. Don't miss a minute of the action only on TSN. And
yeah,
we get to do this again
in BC. Now, this is interesting because the Lions won the first one by a point. And they get this one, they get the series.
Back into the hands of Butler.
Again,
gets
just
about half of what they need.
Sorry, doesn't. But again, just to recap here, both with 8 wins coming in. There's the remaining schedules of the 2 teams. They'll play again in BC next week. I mean, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers just lost their second loss of the season. So first is not out of the realm. You know, if you could sweep the series, that's what's on the line here. And if not, home field in the semifinal.
Adams down the field. Rhymes goes up, tries to haul it in, and he does. Are you kidding me? Dominique Rhymes. Par for the course with this guy so far this season. Hauls it in again.
Yeah, and this is what Vernon Adams will learn with this receiving corps. He'll learn that he can trust that they'll come down with it. Rhymes is on that 3-receiver side. I mean, there's a lot of firepower over there now. Like Hatcher, Burnham, and Dominique Rhymes. He wins the jump ball, and, you know, in fairness to Ruffin, I think DB's heads are swirling right now a little bit, trying to figure out how they can defend without drawing a penalty flag. But a great play to go up and get it for Rhymes.
Rhymes is now over 1,000 yards receiving on the season. Judge was slow to get up. He's having an absolutely excellent night. Sack, forced fumble, fumble recovery, 9 tackles, and now he's going to be out for a few key plays in this football game. Burnham's at 83 yards. Rhymes is at 91. We talked about nobody in this receiving corps having a 100-yard game since they lost Rourke. And we got a couple of guys sniffing around it tonight. First and 10 from the Calgary 35. Back to Butler. Maybe a yard, not much more. They are within field goal range with a 2nd and 10 from the Calgary 35.
Substitution there. David Mackey, the fullback on that first down, was in. He left, and Keon Hatcher comes out. Get the full complement of receivers.
Whitehead, Burnham, Rhymes to the right for Adams. Looks to the left, throws to the left. It is Keon Hatcher, and they've got a first down inside the 25. Second catch of the game for number 4.
Gonna come in behind here. There you go.
A work of art.
I'll stay within the lines, but starts out in the backfield, then gets out there and runs that slant.
BC marching here midway through the 4th quarter. Far side, back to Hatcher again. Made one man. Down the sideline, looking towards the end zone, but forced out of bounds. Looked like he might have had a shot at it there, but help came quickly.
I think back to the interview with Vernon Adams at halftime, and Vernon had that great sort of assessment of the first half. He said, you know, it's some ups and downs, but really I just got to get back to getting in the hands of the playmakers, and I think he's executed that. He's had a much better second half, spreading it around.
First and goal from the Stampeders 6. Adams gets it to Butler. He's wrapped up and taken down. Read well by Derek Wigan.
Yeah, both players. It looked like it was Sean Lemon and Wigan both working together. Lemon had to take the quarterback in Vernon Adams, and he's going to step up to take Adams here, and then from the inside. Calgary just called timeout, but from the inside, that's where Wiggins shot through to make sure he got to James Butler. It was just well played. Great tandem between the two defensive linemen.
Calgary making some personnel switches on that timeout. Adams will reload here. 23 of 29, 266 yards passing. No touchdowns, no interceptions. And now we've got another whistle on the play. I took a quick look. I thought maybe that rabbit had come back out here in Calgary, but there's no rabbit on the field.
Timer, please put 5 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. 5 minutes, 20.
5 minutes, 20 seconds is on the clock.
And it is in the stadium, too. So.
Yeah. Well, the lines will reset and go again here. Second and goal from the Calgary 7. Crowd here at McMahon, some of them on their feet. Trying to get behind this defense for a big stop on second down. Adams near side, incomplete, was looking for Lucky Whitehead just inside the end zone. Whitehead saying his jersey was tugged.
And it might have been, but there's nothing Rick Campbell can do about it. He used his challenge. and didn't get it, lost his timeout, so he can't challenge whether or not there was a grab over there. Lucky Whitehead's by himself. Well, no, he's not by himself. He's got Burnham with him on that side, but he's down at the bottom of your screen. And yeah, I didn't see much there from Deontay Ruffin when I watched it live. But there's nothing that Rick Campbell can do about it anyway.
Sean White out for a 14-yard attempt. And that one never in doubt. And BC will settle for once again taking a 7-point lead. Maybe a missed opportunity here to get a little more breathing room, though, as Vernon Adams misses Lucky Whitehead. Well, a beautiful night here in Calgary at McMahon Stadium, and it's setting up for a pretty thrilling finish. 23-16, the Lions lead. Jake Mayer gets the ball back with 4:55 to play. And this is perfect football weather. It's just not great weekend weather for us, both in Regina and here in Calgary. Near side and quick completion to Malik Henry, which puts them in a second and manageable.
Yeah, you know, a pretty average kind of night for Jake Mayer can turn around right here.
Yep.
You know, with a long drive and tie the score. And
Mayer is 17 of 26 for that 208 number. Has a touchdown as well. Neither quarterback intercepted so far tonight. Now some pressure from the Lions. Mayer gets rid of it. He's got enough for a first down as he quickly guns it into the hands of Trey Odoms-Dukes. First catch of the game.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's his first look. I'm not sure if he's been targeted, but this is his first catch of the game. Playing for Kamara Jordan. Teammates went, all right, get him involved.
3 catches in his debut last week. Now wide open. This is Henry, and that's a guy with a lot of speed. Henry tripped up at the 40. He was surprised by how wide open he was when he turned around to look upfield.
Yeah, linebackers vacated. I mean, it just basically opened up right there. X marks the spot that Malik Carey is going to end up. The linebackers widen and go with the backs, and Malik Henry is sitting there going, hey, I'm good to go, and it's a first down.
107 yards on 4 catches and a touchdown for Henry. Looking for more possibly on this drive. This time they'll give it to the running back, trying to break away. Lunging ahead for an extra yard or 2 is Kadeem Carey. The clock ticks down. Calgary, one thing on their mind, and that is tying this football game. Considering the way they played that last game, they were up 20-3 early in that game. Rourke fought back. It was a thrilling finish and a little bit of a different game here tonight, but the finish could still be just as exciting. Mayer, far side of the field, drops it in there, but it falls incomplete. He was going back to Dukes again, and he is slow to get up on that far sideline. And that will bring up third down as we hit the 3-minute warning. Time now for the Advil dual action play of the game. This was certainly the longest, no doubt about that.
Yeah, well, it's the biggest play of the game as far as just straight yardage and big, long completion for a touchdown, 77-yarder. The play of the game we still might be waiting to see here.
Well, it might be right here, 3rd and 6 for the Calgary Stampeders, trying to keep this drive alive, down 7. Mayer over the middle, and he's got Reggie Begelton inside the 20. Who else would he go to in that situation? He finds Begelton for his team-leading 7th catch on 8 targets.
Yeah, our producer down in the truck, Chris Edwards, said in the break, really got to go to Begelton here, don't you? If you're Calgary. Well, Begelton of those two.
They'll dump it off now, get down inside the 10. Akunavanu with a nice pickup. That third down pass to Begelton, huge here with just over 2 minutes left.
Little signal from Jake Mayer to the bench to make sure Dave Dickinson understands that they just need 1 yard to get a new set of downs.
Mayer, 3 options to his left. Looks over the middle to the end zone, wide open, touchdown! Drops it in there for Luther Akunavanu. And Calgary cuts the lead to 1.
Straight bust in the back end for the BC Lions. They leave Akunavanu wide open back there, but an excellent block by Kadeem Carey on the blitz off the edge from Emmanuel Rukamba. And that gave Mayer time to find Akunavanu back at the back of the end zone.
Well, do not go anywhere. We are an extra point from Paredes away from being tied at 23 with 2 minutes remaining. Paredes to lock it up, right down the gut. And it's 23 apiece at McMahon after an 8-play, 70-yard drive that took 2 minutes and 54 seconds.
That's why you run combination routes. And the combination, the idea is that you can draw attention. You can fool the defensive back, so hold it right here. So now both guys jump Begelton, and Akunavanu in behind is wide open because of it. Purefoy thought there was going to be a switch there. Mojay's thought he was going to lock on his own man. The communication wasn't good enough. Akunavanu says, I'll take it.
Jake Mayer up to 268 yards now and a couple of touchdowns, which is right in that range of what his numbers have been since taking over for Bo Levi Mitchell. And now Vernon Adams Jr. has the stage set to prove he belongs in this BC Lions offense.
Not only is there time for Vernon Adams, but there's time for Calgary to get a 2-and-out stop.
That's true.
And get the ball back.
This is booted away. It's a deep one. Backpedaling all the way to the end zone is Williams. Quick burst will get him outside the 20, but he's wrapped up and taken down there.
That was a hit. That was a whole wedge, I think.
Man, the life of a returner, hey? I'm going to run as fast as I can into these other guys who are running as fast as they can towards me.
And like you said last night, that's gross.
What a way to earn a living. 1st and 10, they start on their own 22. Adams in trouble.
Nice.
He will be taken down. Calgary's defense steps up.
Yeah, it was a great stunt. Mike Rose gets involved. It looked like it was Rose working with Lemon. So Sean Lemon and Rose are gonna work together on a little twist here, and they get home, put the Lions in a hole. Like I said, you get a quick 2-and-out here if you're Calgary. You get the ball back in real good field position.
A loss of 6, second and real long here for Vernon Adams. 3-man pressure, near side, has a completion, but it's not enough. Goes to Javon Catoy. First catch of the game for Catoy. And it's well short.
Yeah, important catch either way, though, because, you know, the field position that's involved. You know, gives the Lions defense a chance to get a stop before field goal range. We might have overtime looming. See what Jake Mayer's got.
Clintoff lets it fly. Moxie takes it. And he'll just get it back to his own 50, and a lot of time.
Tons.
And not that far to go, really, when you've got Paredes kicking around here.
Yeah, 15 yards.
Yeah.
15 yards. Remember what they did before the half? It was check down, Kadeem Carey. Check down, Kadeem Carey. They covered in man-to-man Carey, and Mayer went to Begelton.
But they went down the field in about 40 seconds, right?
Exactly.
It was a chip shot when it was all said and done for Paredes. Paredes is 3 for 3 so far tonight.
And the question is, what does Ryan Phillips do, knowing that the defensive coordinator for the Lions now has got to think, okay, if we don't cover man-to-man on Kadeem Carey, Mayer knows he's got plenty of time to just dump it to him, get chunks of 8 to get in Paredes' field goal range.
You got to have somebody on him.
So you got to hug up on the backs. That means it's one-on-one for Malik Henry or Reggie Begelton or any one of the receivers in the core for the Calgary Stampeders. So there's the chess match that's going on between DC and OC.
Injured Stampeder down on the field. Josiah Shackle, former University of Alberta Golden Bear, getting looked at. Henry's got 107 yards. Begelton with 61 as well. Tall task to shut those guys down right now. Paredes career long 53, hit from that distance earlier this year as well, and he's 5 of 6 on the year from outside of 50. I appreciate a good field goal distance watch. You know, late in the game, I get pretty excited about that.
I hear you. I hear you.
1st and 10 on the 51 for Jake Mayer, looking to put together a game winner here. He's going to look down the field for a big chunk, and it falls incomplete, but there's a flag at the 40 on the far side.
Begelton turned around.
Illegal contact on the receiver. BC number 33. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's a first down for Calgary.
Begelton was running on Rukamba, and there was some contact. I didn't catch how bad it was, but oh yeah, there's no question. That one, definitely. Illegal contact. Now, the ball wasn't thrown to him, so it doesn't turn into PI. It's a 10-yard penalty.
Still, at this point of the game, that's huge. 67 seconds on the clock, and all of a sudden you're on BC's side of the field. Working from the 49. Kadeem Carey wrapped up after a pickup of about 2 or 3 yards, driven back by Williams and Rugamba.
Yeah, and I think the strategy there for Dave Dickinson was to, now we can run the ball, and Dickinson thinking you can run it to grind the clock while we get another 5 to 8, 10 yards to get it in Rene Paredes' field goal range. So, but now they're in a second and long. Need to convert here, or at least pick up 5.
Huge 8 yards in front of them here. 3 receivers, wide side right for Mayer. That's where he's going to look. And is that hauled in? Yes. What a catch by Reggie Begelton.
It really was. I mean, this is with the everything on the line. And this would be an almost impossible field goal length, but if Begelton doesn't make that catch, it's behind him and high, and he goes up and gets it.
Not enough for the first down. So 3rd down now is what they face, and Paredes is out for a 48-yard attempt to take the lead late. Clock will tick down here. Cody Grace set to hold it. Calgary working their way back in to this game in the 4th quarter. And a timeout called.
Timeout by Calgary.
Dave Dickinson realized that the play clock was down to 2 or 3 seconds, and
didn't want to back this up.
Yeah, you get a 5-yard penalty now, and putting tons of pressure on Rene Paredes, but Little bit of a side wind, I would say, sort of right to left by the looks of the
back of them.
At the flags, yeah, the flags at the goalpost.
As we said, Paredes has hit from 53 this season. This will be a 48-yard attempt. With the clock sitting at 23. Jake Mayer watching on as his kicker looks to give them the lead, possibly for good. Paredes from 48. The kick is up, and it is wide left. He misses it. The game remains tied at 23 as it's brought out of the end zone. And Paredes unable to finish the job. The BC Lions live on.
And I think with the field position you've got in just 15 seconds, the Lions are going to be happy to go to overtime after the miss and going to play a little extra time here tonight in Calgary. A beautiful night. Why not? Got to get this one out or you lose by one.
They don't want that. Williams finished it off, got it out. We remain tied at 23.
That's exactly what Rick Campbell was saying. Get out of the end zone.
Paredes was 5 of 6 from beyond 50 on the year. That one was from 48. And he pulled it just a little bit wide left. And now overtime looms here at McMahon. Said it was going to be a good finish, didn't I? Hey, here we go.
I'll just run this down. And we will get prepared to show you the overtime rules.
Vernon Adams, as he takes that knee there, 277 yards, 24 of 31, and he's got the BC Lions on the road going to overtime against the Calgary Stampeders team that has won back-to-back games coming in.
Let's take a look at that field goal attempt by Paredes. Again, a little bit of a side wind. It didn't look like he hit it real clean. Hold is good. Oh, he knew it right away. He knew it as it was in flight. He saw it pulling a little bit to the left. Jake Mayer's going, okay. Got a little more work to do. Vernon Adams, he knows how good Paredes is.
Yeah.
So Vernon Adams was like, come on. We're going to OT.
We talked about what was on the line coming in here tonight.
Toss. Same coin. Calgary Stampeder logo is tails. League logo is heads. It's your call, BC. Heads is call, Pat. Heads is a call. It's a tail. It's your choice. You can choose offense, defense. You're choosing defense now? Okay. You're on offense, you get to choose your side. You're playing over there. First down, BC going that way.
We are locked and loaded, ready to go. Let's take a look at these overtime rules, Glenn.
Yeah, so you're basically playing from the 35-yard line going in. If you score, you have to go for a 2-point convert, and the second team, in this case, it'll be Calgary with the ball second. They'll have to match or beat the score that the Lions get in this first try, or we do it all again at the other end. We go twice. If it's still a tie at the end of both of those, it stays a tie.
Each get a point, and nothing gets solved here tonight.
But you notice Calgary won the toss and elected to go defense first, so they know what they're dealing with.
Mini game number 1. Here we go. 4 receivers, wide side right, pressure from Calgary. Adams is going to roll to the right. Now he's going to throw to the right, and he's got a completion to Burnham inside the 20. And he will push ahead, and a nice play call from the BC Lions to start overtime.
Yeah, I like moving the launch point, most importantly, getting Vernon Adams out on the edge. They got some blocking outside to help on any containment, and that gave Adams some time to find his number 1 guy in Burnham.
100 yards on the game for Brian Burnham. BC works inside the red zone from the Calgary 18. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. They'll hand it off to Butler. He's got some room right up the middle. Looking to the end zone. He's in. Touchdown BC. An 18-yard scamper in overtime from James Butler. His second touchdown of the game.
So now the Lions have got to go for a 2-point convert, which adds a little bit more strategy to the entire process because they have to go for 2. Don't get it. Obviously, they've got a 6-point lead, but then it changes what Calgary knows, though. They've got to score the major now. So they'll play 3-down football on their turn.
83 yards in this game for James Butler, one of his better games in quite some time. And it came at a big time here for the BC Lions, who will now go for 2. Butler in behind Vernon Adams Jr. making his first start with the Lions. He's going to throw it to the back of the end zone, up for grabs, and it's knocked loose. Muhammad steps underneath Rhymes, who certainly has the ability to go up and get something like that. There's a flag on the far side of the field, though. Muhammad is down. They're going to take a look at him quickly. Let's get the call here.
Offside. Calgary, number 40. We'll go up half the distance. We'll redo the convert.
Wow. Sean Lemon. That'll give BC another crack at it.
Uncharacteristic mistake from a veteran. Now, it's hard to tell from that angle whether he was, but when Rimolade backed up, I don't know. That again. I mean, that's a monster play by Muhammad in the back of the end zone to give Calgary a chance. I mean, they got work to do. They'd have to score the major on their turn. But 2 points in the 2-point convert wins the game for them, and they don't go to a second. I mean, it's a monster call. This is the one where you say, it's a monster call. It better be right.
Yeah, that's right. See Pipkin out there as the ball be moved a little bit closer after that penalty. Let's take a look at the West standings. Here's what's on the line. Oh, just, home date. Now, there's still a long way to go, but as of right now, whoever finishes this off tonight will be second in the West.
And if the Lions win it, they've got the season series against Calgary.
Yep, that's a big one. Well, Muhammad is now just getting up and walking off. One more look at this Butler 18-yard run. Really almost untouched. First 2 touchdown game from Butler since the opening night of the season. Another crack at it for 2. Pipkin under center. He's going to take it to the right side, looking for the end zone, reaching in. He says he's there, and you can tack on a couple more here for the BC Lions, and the lead will be 8.
31, Stampeders 23.
So that's what's left for Jake Mayer. Now he's got to get both. He's got to get the major. Let's see if the ball crossed the plane before the knee touched. This will be automatically reviewed, of course. Scoring plays or potential scoring plays are. The knees down. You can't see the football there. Ruled on the field as a successful 2-point convert.
Like the ball was quite a ways ahead in Pipkin's body, right? So,
but they have to actually see it to even come close to overturning it. And I don't think you see the football. So.
Well, now Calgary knows they need it all right here. Another look at it from the back angle. It's close, but they're going to leave that one the way it is. 31-23. Your time, Jake Mayer. Here we go.
Need 6 and 2 more to stay alive. Mayer with a ton of time here. Dumps it out to Logan, who's got a bunch of room down the left sideline, and he'll take it inside the 20 before he's forced out of bounds by Lacombo. That's a nice chunk to get you going.
Yeah, the 20-second clock matters, but the actual clock is done. Logan looked like he was trying to get back in the huddle in a hurry to get the hurry out. And it is a 20-second huddle, so you gotta.
Well, Calgary now on the 18. This is right where BC was when Butler took it in for the first touchdown of overtime. There, waits, far side, and that one falls incomplete. Purifoy there in defense working against Hakunavanu, and that will bring up 2nd and 10.
Of course, an interception by the Lions now ends the game. That one bounced. Like one of the Lions out there may have had a shot at it, but
Calgary has only lost this season to Winnipeg and BC. And here they are again in overtime, trailing by 8 to the BC Lions. They beat everybody else that they faced. 2nd and 10 for Mayer. 3 receivers over to his left. Steps up. And now he's going to take off. Jake Mayer trying to dive ahead at the 10. He's going to be stopped short. But they're in 3-down territory, obviously, and they'll only need a few more yards here.
Exactly, 3-down territory. And that's why when you win the toss, you play defense first.
Yep.
So now it's 3 yards. They have to make this play. Again, that big, deep breath from Dave Dickinson. A lot of work needed to be done here because they have to get the 2-point convert as well to extend the game.
Peyton Logan remains out there. 3rd down. This is it. You got to get 2 yards for the Calgary Stampeders. Jake Mayer looks near side. He's got a completion, and that's enough for a 1st down as he goes to Richie Sindani. Wow. First catch of the game comes in overtime with the game on the line.
Talking about putting a little pressure on young Sindani. I mean, he's been around for 4 years, but that's his first action tonight, really, his first catch. And how big was that?
Big time spot to be in there for Sindani. And now they get a fresh set, 1st and goal from the BC Lion 4. Mayer, some pressure coming, looks to the back of the end zone. Got him! Hanging on, what a job! It's Philpott who goes and gets it. His 2nd touchdown of the season. And it's a big one. And they've got a chance.
Well, he had to go get it. He had to dig to go get it. And this game comes down to 1 2-point convert. And that's why they changed the rule a couple of years ago for this exact scenario. More exciting, more emphasis on that one play, and Philpott had to track that baby down. Again, 2 young Canadian receivers stepping up big. A 3rd down conversion by Sindani. Philpott in the back of the end zone.
First catch of the night.
2-point convert away from going to another overtime period.
Jake Mayer at 3:01. 3 touchdown passes, but needs a 2-point conversion here, or this game is over. Mayer looks to his right, in a little bit of trouble, throws it to the end zone, incomplete. No flag on the play. The BC Lions defense is going to win them this ball game. 31-29, your final at McMahon. And they're challenging it. Oh boy, the drama cranks up a notch here in Calgary.
Well, you know, I think if you're Dickinson, you're throwing a challenge flag no matter what and trying to find something.
I guess. Hurry, find me something.
Yeah,
Calgary's challenging the ruling on the play. They believe there was pass interference against their player number 84. The play will be reviewed.
Right there. A little tug on the hip, maybe? On the way across, do you think?
Well, Bagleton got up and gave Dave Dickinson the signal for the challenge flag.
Nothing there. Would have been a little bit earlier. In a weird way, it's fitting that tonight's game comes down to a pass interference discussion. What do you think?
Well, it couldn't be at the end there. I think this has got to have happened.
Looked like on the wide shot there was
earlier.
a little grab on the hip as he tried to turn.
Now think about all the plays that we've seen tonight. And some of the calls that I disagreed with. There were a couple that were definitely calls. I mean, and again, the question about whether or not that throw was even catchable to Begelton has to come into play too.
Dickinson watching on, waiting for this ruling. If he wins the challenge, they'll get another crack at it. If he doesn't, Vernon Adams has led the BC Lions to a victory on the road.
I'm just going to freeze it right here.
Not much of a tug there.
And see what happens is if Begelton would have had to have turned quite drastically.
BC on top by 2. Are they going to win this football game? Let's find out.
Upon further review, the ruling on the field stands. There's no pass interference. The game is over.
Lions win in overtime. Vernon Adams Jr., 294 yards in the victory, and a big win for the BC Lions.
Yeah, big second half for Vernon Adams. He got it in the hands of his playmakers. They did the rest, but this was a well-played football game down to the overtime period. And the BC Lions needed not only the touchdown in overtime, but the two-point convert as well. Got both, and it was the two-point convert that gave them the win. And Vernon Adams gets his first win as a BC Lions starter.
For the first time since they lost Nathan Rourke a few weeks back now, the BC Lions have walked away victorious. A little bit of pushing and shoving as the two teams leave the field. Save it for next week, boys. We're going to do it again next Saturday. But the BC Lions here tonight, that gives them 2 victories against the Calgary Stampeders and gives them the season series in what could be a great battle down the stretch for second place in the West as everybody tries to track down the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. But what a game we had here at McMahon. In the end, we needed a little bit more of it because it was just so darn good. BC Lions 31-29. James Butler with 2 touchdowns for the visitors tonight. Jake Mayer, 3 touchdown passes, 301 yards, but it was not enough. Vernon Adams Jr. and the BC Lions on the road, victorious. That's going to do it for us from McMahon. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Has dashed 18 yards.